Hello everyone and welcome to your Advective weather update for April 14th, 2023. Let's jump right into it. We have a lot to talk about here, starting with the 3 days of severe weather that we're expecting. That's going to be the primary focus of this video. We do acknowledge that there is a severe weather risk way down the road here 7 days from now. However, that is not the focal point of this video. Tonight, there's a slight risk of severe weather in place, with the primary threats being strong winds and large hail. That's going to be the case in the slight risk you see there in Kansas, as well as the marginal risks there along the East Coast and in the state of Texas. We have an enhanced risk for severe weather tomorrow, with large hail being the primary threat. Tornadoes and especially strong winds, however, remain secondary threats as well. Finally, on Sunday, we do have a slight risk that's in place there through Georgia, heading up into South Carolina there, with the primary threats again being strong winds and large hail. Good news with this is it's not looking like a huge tornado producer. However, that doesn't mean tornadoes won't be occurring. Let's take a look at the current severe weather setup. You can see there those severe storms in the Carolinas that are firing off right now. Those are a part of one of those marginal risks. In the state of Texas, not too much is going on just yet. However, severe storms will be forming there soon. You can see some of those rain showers starting to pop up already that will end up being our severe storms later. And finally, you can see that severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued in the state of Kansas, with numerous severe thunderstorms firing up there. Again, strong winds and large hail being the primary threats there. Well, let's talk about what's going on tonight in a bit more detail. Severe storms in the slight risk region in particular will pose a risk for strong winds and large hail, with some of these having particularly large hail that could be over baseball sized in some worst case scenarios. These storms are currently ongoing and could present an overnight threat on the eastern side of the risk as well. Thunderstorms will likely fire around 7 p.m. in Texas there in that southern marginal risk, with large hail and strong winds being possible. These storms could go on until 4 a.m. However, this is a level 1 out of 5, so it's not going to be a huge risk. It's not going to be something out of the ordinary for the time of year. Just make sure that you have a heightened sense of alertness. Make sure that you're taking preparations to make sure that when severe storms do strike, you're ready for them. Finally, strong storms are already ongoing within the eastern risk area there along the East Coast, including South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. These storms should remain into the overnight hours, with strong winds and large hail again being the primary threats. Let's talk about tomorrow now. There's an enhanced risk stretching all the way from around Shreveport, Louisiana, up to around Columbia and Jefferson City, Missouri. A morning round of storms is likely going to move through Missouri, lasting from around 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. It should be noted these storms will likely be non-severe, but morning convection is likely up there. Don't freak out, not going to be severe. A strong complex of Gulf storms will likely be riding along the Gulf Coast throughout the day, although these storms will only be marginally severe, isolated strong winds and large hail expected with those. Our main round of activity is going to fire up around 3 to 4 p.m., with the entirety of our risk area needing to be on guard and vigilant. Those in the enhanced risk should be out of a severe weather threat by 11 p.m. However, those in the eastern to slight and marginal risks will need to wait until 4 a.m. to call it completely safe. Large hail is going to be the main threat with these storms, with the possibility of tennis ball-sized hail being there. The wind and tornado threats are also non-zero, especially there in the northern side of the enhanced risk along the warm front, and then to the south where wind shear is a little bit stronger as well there in Arkansas, stretching down into Louisiana. Well, let's talk about the forecast here in a bit more detail. You can see that hail risk. That's going to be the one there on the left of your screen. This has a hatched risk stretching all the way from around Tyler and Longview, Texas, all the way up to around Moberly, Missouri, stretching into the St. Louis area as well. This hatched region is where 2-inch in diameter or larger hail is possible. You can see there in that red region, that's our level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. Level 2 out of 5 slight risk surrounds that in the yellow, with a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk surrounding that in the brown. Our wind risk is also present here, no hatched region there, but an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, stretching all the way from around Columbia, Missouri down to Shreveport. And again, that's for 60 mile per hour or higher wind gusts. Level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, level 1 out of 5 there in the brown. Finally, we have our tornado risk for tomorrow. This is a level 2 out of 5. It's the lowest of the 3 risks, although an upgrade isn't out of the question. Stretching all the way from around Shreveport, Vicksburg, and Natchez, Louisiana, stretching all the way north to around Columbia and Jefferson City, Missouri. All of these risks do include the city of Little Rock as well. But again, that tornado threat there, it's a level 2 out of 5 in the brown, level 1 out of 5 in the green. So non-zero tornado threat, however, that is the lowest of the 3 for tomorrow. That's definitely good news. Let's break down a weather model here. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. I'm going to take you through it. You can see the loop here. I'm not going to be saying everything in sync with the loop, but you'll get the general idea of what's going on. First severe storms of the day will likely fire around the Kansas-Missouri border around 3 p.m. This will be the start of a more robust complex that will form by around 5 p.m., stretching into central Arkansas and central Missouri. This line will complete itself by 8 p.m., advancing into eastern Missouri and Arkansas, with the line stretching all the way down to Louisiana and Texas by this point as well. And by 3 a.m., the threat should be limited to the Gulf Coast as that system continues to ride along it into the next day. Speaking of the next day, here it is, a slight risk in place there, especially again for the state of Georgia, including places like Macon, stretching all the way up into South Carolina. Severe storms will primarily be capable of producing strong winds and large hail on Sunday, with thunderstorms beginning to enter the marginal risk around 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. These storms will be out of the risk area by midnight Eastern time, and that is the primary thing to talk about there. Let's talk about thunderstorms here and what you can do in them. They're going to escalate quickly in a lot of cases. There's going to be lots of instability in the atmosphere, especially tomorrow. So set up multiple ways to get weather alerts. When alerted to a storm, make sure that you get inside a sturdy building. Stay away from windows and doors, and make sure that you're indoors as well. Again, you want to stay away from anything that's loose that could become unhinged and places where flying debris is a possibility. And if a building isn't nearby, a vehicle is a safe bet, or a mobile home. This is not the case, though, if you're in a tornado warning. You need to abandon your vehicle or abandon your mobile home if in a tornado warning, as tornadoes can launch these things into the air as death traps. Sturdy shelters are the only option when in a tornado warning. Let's talk about the difference between a watch and a warning now. A severe thunderstorm watch is issued when a severe thunderstorm is possible. Conditions are favorable. This means you need to be weather aware, monitoring sky conditions, and know where to take shelter. If a severe thunderstorm warning is issued, that means a severe thunderstorm is imminent or already happening. You need to take shelter immediately. Again, that's getting indoors, getting into an interior room, staying away from windows, places like that to ensure that you won't get injured from flying debris. Well, thank you so much for watching. We do hope the video was useful. You can like it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you know where that button is. You can also subscribe to our channel and be sure to turn on notifications, as we'll likely have an update video coming out tomorrow as well on this situation. You can also join our Discord server, link in the video description, if you want to visit us, say hi, and chat about the weather events coming up. And finally, you can leave a comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns you'd like us to answer directly. Thanks again for watching. We hope to see you again soon.